Hi, guys. Uh, Hello. This is Dr. Bhushan Sood. One more time, I'm back to you. But this time, I've brought on the floor a wonderful person, a great friend of mine who I know for the last almost more than 15 years. We've been very good friends. We were together on board of directors at India Rainbow Community Services of Peel. That's where we met and we developed into a wonderful relationship. We know each other's family, we know each other's kids, so we're so close. But the purpose of bringing him to the floor today is very specific, very meaningful, very useful. So let me tell you, both of us have diabetes, and we are controlling diabetes our own way, of course, with medication. But my friend has, few steps ahead of me. He was on insulin and he managed to control intake of insulin, got back to normal, tablets, the medicines called metformin, and he's doing so great, so wonderful. And we thought it's a good idea to share what he has done for himself to our community, to our people, to our friends, so that everyone can take use of it. Everyone, can make a benefit out of it. But before I go ahead and introduce my friend to you, I would like to give one disclaimer that don't just follow what we are going to share. You need to consult your doctor. Medical advice is very important, but we're just sharing how he managed to lower his blood sugar, manage his intake of medication. So not wasting too much of time, I would like to introduce my wonderful friend, Mr. Savroop Dogra.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yes, Mr.
Yes.
Savroop.
Thank
Good
you,
to
Bhushan.
see. Good to see you on the floor. And before we get into the real topic, I
Mhm.
normally, give time to my participant, to my guest, to introduce himself, because I feel when you introduce yourself, you have so much in mind to share. And if I introduce you, it's more or less formal, which I don't want to do.
Okay,
So आप खुद ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਹੈ, and
okay,
let's share with the community.
okay,
Savroop Dogra कौन है?
okay. So I now live in Mississauga, Canada, but I grew up, I was born and brought up in Delhi. My family belongs to Hoshiarpur district, and uh, Delhi was my initial starting point. I had multiple careers. The top position I had in India was IT head for Bharti Airtel and also on their executive committee. And then I moved to, in year 2000, I moved to Cyprus. And from Cyprus in 2001, I reached Canada. So that is my professional journey. Um, it has been amazing. In 2004, I got in touch with Bhushan. Bhushan is an amazing guy, such a lively person, and his singing is amazing. So he has been such a great influence in our parties, and he doesn't shy away from picking up the microphone and making the party more lively. So
Then
thank you, Bhushan, for that.
thank you so much.
Um, so would you like me to jump straight into this diabetic thing, or maybe talk a little more about the family background? Or
It's always good to do, to
okay,
share.
okay. So my father was an engineer in India, and our family belongs to Hoshiarpur, as I said. Um, and we have a very long lineage in Hoshiarpur area. And luckily for me, some of the our ancestors, they created a family tree. So my family tree goes back to 1480. Let,
Wow.
let me share it with you a little bit.
Okay.
Um, Here, can you see it?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
there.
okay.
Dogra family tree.
Yeah. So this is the main information. Dogra family tree. Shri Kailash migrated from Jammu around 1480 and settled in village Lachowala, Sharpur, and our subcaste is Minhas. And if you go to the details, this is Kailash. And let me start making it smaller, so you see
Okay.
what is happening, right?
Beautiful.
So this is the entire tree, not the entire, almost entire tree.
Lovely.
And if you see, this is Kailash, and I am somewhere here.
Wow.
So let me let me blow it up. And so here, this is me,
Wow.
Swarup Singh. I got two sons, Harjas and Maninder.
Yep.
I had a brother, he died long ago in a road accident in 1971. My
Okay.
dad, Dharam Singh, my grandfather. And then if you start going back, Lakha Singh, Raja Singh, Boor Singh, Gulab Singh, Tela Singh. And you see there are Singhs here, but the parallel line is not Singhs. So Dash, Mita, and those names there, Karma,
Raju.
Raju,
Wow.
and then Wazir Singh starts here, right?
Uh-huh.
So as you can clearly see, there is a uh, normal Hindu lineage, and then at some stage people started adopting the Singh names.
Yeah.
I'm not sure at which stage the family became Sikhs.
Mainly it started somewhere end of 18, 1800.
1817, 18,
Yeah.
in that
Yeah,
time
I know.
frame.
Same with our
But
family too.
yeah, the interesting part is from Kailash, it is, this is Soto, then Basso, Bega, and the next generation has got some Muslim names as well. So it is Ahmad, Spahi, Salah, and then it is Sendi, Meherdeen, Fazaldeen, and like that, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that line gets lost.
Okay.
I'm very proud of this, this history which we have. I think it's very rare.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll stop sharing now.
Okay. So come
And
back.
let's move to our diabetic journey.
Yeah. Healthy living and
Yeah, yeah,
how we can have diabetes reversal.
yeah.
So
So
tell
let me
me,
start from
no,
where it started, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
when you actually first time when you had it.
yeah. So I got to know about my diabetes in 2005. I'd gone to India, and there I developed some urinary infection. And my friend, Dr. Ahuja, I went to him. He's a very good friend. He practices in Saket, Delhi. So I went to him. I said, Ahuja sahab, problem hai. He said, let's check your sugar. And my sugar at that testing was, I think, 18 or something,
Oh,
right? It was really high.
yep.
So he immediately put me on medication. I came back and I started with 2 tablets of metformin. And over time, the medication started increasing. So 2 tablets, then 4 tablets, then doctor added, different other medications they tried. Some worked, some didn't work, changing. And then I moved to added diamicron. So on the tablet side, I graduated to 2 metformin, one diamicron in the morning, and 2 metformin, one diamicron in the evening.
So basically 1,000 in the morning, metformin,
1,000 in
and
the
1,000
morning,
in the evening.
1,000 in the evening, and
Okay.
60 diamicron in the morning, 60 diamicron at night, right?
Okay.
And then at some stage, doctor added insulin, which also started going up. And then somewhere in 2018, I think it was probably March or April, doctor said you need to add one more medicine injection, which is Ozempic. So
Okay.
Ozempic is once a week injection, and it works on your pancreas and pushes it to generate more insulin.
Okay.
So that injection had terrible, terrible side effects.
Oh,
So whenever I took the day I took that injection, next night I could not sleep for the whole night.
okay.
I was very, edgy, and the body didn't feel good. So I went back to the doctor. I told him, this is not working. I'm having very strong reactions. And the specialist told me that these reactions are normal. Your diabetes is out of control. So you need to take this medication, and you have to live with these side effects.
Okay.
So that was my state in 2018, say August, September, right?
Okay.
Very bad. In addition, I also have a condition which is called um, hernia up here.
Okay.
It's called hiatus hernia in the stomach.
Okay.
So what that does is that stomach, actually, there is a tear in the diaphragm, and stomach comes into the chest cavity little bit. So
Okay.
that leads to a very bad condition of acidity at night.
Oh.
So my condition was such that every week, probably once or twice, I used to sleep sitting on a sofa.
Oh.
I couldn't lie down because there's that much of acidity. So I had to drink a lot of water, walk around at night, anything which would work, right? So that was the condition. Anyway, I have a friend in Australia, and he is also diabetic. incidentally. So we used to talk about diabetes. And one day he called me very excitedly in October 2018 that Swaroop, that I went to one session with my diabetic consultants, and there was a group of people. And one of the people in that group asked the doctor that, there is this Dr. Fong in Canada. What do you think about him? So the doctor ignored Dr. Fong. But
Okay.
my friend took a note, came home, he started Googling this guy, and he found it to be a very interesting way of reversing diabetes. So Dr.
Okay.
Fung is actually a practicing doctor in Scarborough, a part of Toronto area, and he does nephrological practice. He's a specialist in that, and he's also an endocrinologist, right? So
Okay.
basically, diabetics who messed up their kidneys properly, they would then graduate to him,
Okay.
right, with bad kidneys. And he would see these people coming to him, he could not help them at all. So he wrote this book. This is the book. Can you see?
Yeah, the diabetes
The
code.
Diabetic Code by Dr. Jason Fung. So my friend told me that, buy this book and read it. And as we all do, I just ignored his
Initially, yeah.
suggestion. Totally ignored him. But he is very persistent. He
Okay.
kept on calling me every day.
Uh-huh.
So after about a week, I bought the book.
Okay.
The book arrived at about 11 in the morning. I started reading. And by about 4 o'clock, I realized that, this guy makes a lot of sense. And basically, it was all about changing your diet.
I see.
So I said, okay, I'll give it a shot. And he warned that, when you change your diet, your sugar will fall really, really fast. So make sure you don't go into the hypoglycemia kind of problem.
Affair, yeah.
So he said, instead of focusing for a glucose level of, say, between 5 and 6, when you're doing this, aim for a glucose level between 7 and 8,
Okay.
or even 9. Within a week, you're not going to die from diabetes, high sugar. But if it goes down, then you're in trouble. So I took that advice and I changed my diet. So that night, because I was so confident about what I read, and then my mind still has the schooling which has been done by our entire life, that you don't change your medication without talking to your doctor. It is bad, you can be in trouble. So I was really worried. So I did two things. One is I started taking my blood sugars like every 3 hours,
3
just to be
hours.
sure that my family doesn't land into trouble, right? Because if I have a low sugar, it's a problem for them.
Okay.
So and that night I reduced my insulin by about 50%.
Wow.
So next day morning, my numbers were good. Actually,
Wow.
morning prick was 5.6, which is very rare for diabetics.
Oh, yeah.
It was really good. I said, okay. And the second good thing was that night I did not wake up for going to the washroom
Okay.
or acidity. So I was very happy. So I continued with that new diet, and next night I reduced my insulin by another 50%. So I was now down to 25% of my dose.
Okay.
Third night, I did not need insulin, but I was so scared of this rapid falling of insulin that I still took that quarter dose. And that was the last day I took insulin.
Wow.
And after that, I never took the other injection, Ozempic. So both injections stopped. After about 6 months, I packed up all the injections and all the needles and everything, went to my chemist, I gave it back to her. I said, I will not need it ever again. Fourth day, one diamacrin dropped. Fifth day, the second diamacrin dropped. In about 7 days, I was down to 2 tablets of metformin, which is a basic starter dose for a diabetic. So from a top level dose of all the medications, I was down to the starter dose in about 7-8 days.
Okay.
So this is an amazing way to manage your glucose and sugar. And I would strongly recommend people to, maybe buy this book and read it and see how they can incorporate that into your lifestyle. And I can guarantee you it makes a lot of difference.
Oh, lovely.
In 6 months time, I lost about 5 inches from my waist. All my trousers became loose. I had to throw all of them out. and I had to buy new trousers. I'm so happy about
Great, great.
it. Yeah.
So let us, Sarup, let us share about the kind of diet that you moved on to.
Yes. Okay. So
Yeah.
this is a mixture of fasting and eating. So basically, what I did was I started a practice of 16 hours fasting and 8 hours of eating. So basically, you are fasting for 16 hours. In that time, you don't eat anything. You just take hot water.
Oh,
Okay. So what I did was, because I was going without any food, so I stopped my medication in the morning. So the routine I adopted was after dinner, nothing. And next day I will have my meal around 1 o'clock.
nothing in the morning.
Nothing in the morning, just hot water.
Okay.
Or you can have a coffee, but without. So I went so deep into the food and what it is. And the book explains all that. Like if you take milk, or in India, you can take malai, right? There are two things, both from milk, cream.
Yeah.
So milk has sugar in it, but cream does not have sugar in it. So you can have a cup of tea with malai, 1 spoon of it, and you are good. But if you put milk in it, you get sugar through the milk, and that then kicks the sugar response in the body, which is to generate insulin.
Okay.
So the basic message is that all the food you eat have to be those which do not trigger insulin response in the body.
Okay.
And you eat foods which are having more fat. So this is contrary to what doctors say. But if you are into the fat burning mode, because the way body uses these sources of energy, glucose, sugar, carbs, all these get converted to glucose and then go to the blood and then used by the body. Anything remaining goes to the, and body uses it by leveraging insulin. So that is the connection. Insulin opens the doors in the cells, and then glucose goes into the cells, right? So you need both. But if you are eating fat, fat goes straight from the stomach into the bloodstream. So it does not kick your
Insulin, sugar.
insulin response. And that is the key. The moment you stop having insulin response, a beautiful thing happens, right? If you are eating more carbs, carbs convert to glucose, they go to blood. Whatever is used. Rest of it goes to your liver. Liver converts that extra glucose into fat. And body being lazy, it throws that fat around the liver. So
Yeah.
you start getting bigger and bigger tummy. That is why you get big tummy, because it's glucose and carbs being converted into fat and deposited near the liver. Right? So, and if you're having a fat heavy diet, then fat goes to blood, and then blood will take it all over the body and deposit it wherever it should deposit. So you get a uniform deposit of fat. And what I have learned over, and I've been reading a lot. So what I've learned is that our body, all the hormones are made of fats. Your brain is 80% fat.
Yep.
Each and every nerve in the body is coated with fat, like your electric wires are coated with plastic.
Insulators. Yeah.
Nerves are coated with fat as insulators, right? So if you really cut down on fat, you are cutting down all those, and then you can develop other issues with your nerves, with your brain, and all that. And I can see those changes happening over time. So Bhushan, do you want me to talk about those, or um,
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
okay?
Sure.
So this is my practice. So my eating, what I've done is I've cut out certain foods from my diet totally. So that includes sugars, anything made of sugar, anything made of wheat. So no maida, no samosa, nothing, no roti, no rice, potatoes. I cut out totally. Um, so the food consists of vegetables, lots of them, nuts, lot of natural fat, so it is ghee, butter, or good quality oils like mustard oil, olive oil, um, those cold pressed oils, right? Those. And then I would be, I'm a meat eater. I'm not a big meat eater, but I eat meat. So I would have some meat, or maybe a chicken, fish, and a couple of eggs. So those that's what I am eating. So basically the meal consists of lunchtime. I'll cut, and I make my own meals because it's too much pressure on the lady of the house to cook for me
True.
this kind of thing. So I do my own, and I cut vegetables, like one full plate full of vegetables. Then I cook them in about 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of ghee. Then I'll add 2 eggs in that. It makes a big omelette, fills the whole plate, and fills my stomach pretty well. If I'm not full, then I'll have a handful of almonds or some walnuts. Have a coffee or tea, and that is good enough.
Okay. So basically, what we are trying to convey is that you used to have insulin and another, supplementary with that,
Yeah,
and you cut down from insulin to normal medication, which is
2
metformin.
medication starter
Met-
dose.
Yeah, metformin and all.
Yeah.
So supposedly, if you keep practicing that, probably you can reduce your intake of metformin as well. Do you think so?
I see. The thing is that this fasting protocol is is quite rigorous.
Okay.
So I have not been able to go past 24 hours fasting.
Okay.
But Dr. Fung and his team, if what they say is that if you've got diabetes and you want to reverse it, then the body, to realize its own new level of insulin and where it should be, you need to fast longer. When they say longer, they mean 3 days, 4 days fast, right? So I have not done that,
Okay.
but I'm part of a group on Facebook which is moderated by Dr. Fung and his team,
Oh,
and on that group you will find people who are fasting up to 100 and up to 7 days, 8 days continuously.
so they're on liquids on those 7 days?
So what they do is, during those 7 days, 6 days, they will have water, hot water, they will have coffee, and they will have soups. So if you're a
Okay.
non-vegetarian, you can have, like in Punjab, you have that kharoda soup. That is perfect for that kind of thing. But if you're a vegetarian, then you can take a vegetable soup, not a problem.
Okay.
Vegetable soup, add some ghee in that, that is okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what they practice.
Okay.
And they say that they will lose. But the people on that group are, because the people who are working with Dr. Fung are really, really obese. So they are like people who are 300 kilo weight,
Oh,
those kind of things. And they lose 200 kilos weight, right? So,
okay.
so a story I remember, which I really found very touching, right? So in North America, the big, really, really big people, they go to the stores which are for a big body, right? So there are separate stores for really big clothes.
Okay.
So this lady, she was practicing this fasting and she was reducing. And one day she went to the store and she was there and she was looking, and she said, I couldn't find anything which was fitting me. So she went to the store in charge and she said, you know what, I can't find anything for me. What do I do? And that guy looked at her and he said, madam, you are in a big body store and you are a normal build. So you need to go to a normal
Oh
store.
my gosh. She
And
forgot
this
that she's
lady-
cut down.
Exactly. For 20 years, she had never been to a normal store. She said, I came out, sat in my car, and cried for about an hour.
I see.
You see, it is that much liberating.
Wonderful. Awesome. Can we just show that same book for a longer time to the audience so that,
Sure.
they can check it out?
Here.
So this is the book, Dr. Jason Fung, The Diabetes Code, Prevent and Reverse.
This is available on Amazon in India.
Okay.
It's about 800 rupees or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can you mention about the group also, if people like to join?
Yeah, the group is, I can tell you, I don't remember the name exactly. I'll just go to Facebook and show you. So it's a very supportive group, and on the group you also have there are documents available on the group. There are files which talk about what you are eating, and this is the group. Can you see?
Yes, just keep it for a while. The
Sure.
Fasting Method Network by Dr. Jason Fung and Megan. Yep, thank you.
So the kind of things you see on this group, let me show you one example, right? And you will see what I'm saying. So people post this kind of pictures, right? This is before and after.
Oh,
Can you see the difference?
why not? She
So
looks.
when you lose that much weight,
Mhm.
your diabetes automatically goes under control. Diabetes is not a medicinal problem; it is a diet issue,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
basically.
It's just a symptom. They say like
Yeah, yeah.
metabolic symptom.
So this group is very supportive. If you are struggling with your fasting and all, you just post there. You will find hundreds of people giving you ideas that how you can sustain it and how good it is, right? That kind of thing.
Lovely,
Yeah,
lovely.
yeah, yeah.
And this Dr. Jason is based in Toronto, you said?
Dr. Jason Fung is based in Scarborough.
Okay, that's
He's in
part
the
of Toronto.
Scarborough Hospital, and
Okay.
his journey is very interesting. Let me talk about that, and you will realize what I'm saying, right?
Mhm.
So he is a nephrologist, and he
Yep.
said he had a guy coming to him who was really fat and struggling with his diabetic numbers.
Hmm.
Dr. Fung kept on telling him that you need to reduce, and this guy would. And one day the patient came, and he started crying on his table, on doctor's table. He said, "Doctor, I feel so hungry that I don't know what to do."
Hmm.
And Dr. Fung by that time had started evaluating the diet protocols and the fasting protocols in the Indian culture, in the Chinese culture, because these two are really old cultures.
Yep.
And these cultures, the fasting is embedded in our lifestyles, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So he had started evaluating that, and he had also started looking at nutrition. So the funny part is that doctors, when they are taught in medicine, they are not really focusing on nutrition. So they are taught how to prescribe medication.
Yep.
And for nutrition, it's a different group, right?
Yep.
So Dr. Fung, because of his interest, he started looking at nutrition, and he realized the connection between carbs and insulin.
Okay.
So he advised this guy, who was a white guy. He told him, he said, "You know what? Can you just live on eggs and bacon?" So basically, it was no sugar, no carbs, eggs and bacon. So it's fat and proteins, right?
Hmm.
And the guy smiled. He said, "Yeah, I can live on that."
Uh-huh.
Doctor said, "Okay, go and live on that and come back after 15 days."
Okay. So say again, eggs and
Bacon,
bacon. Okay.
bacon is pork. Yeah.
Okay.
So pork strips, right? So the guy went away, and after 15 days he came back, and Dr. Fung says he was happy, smiling. He had already lost a few kilos of weight, and he was so happy.
Wow.
And Dr. Fung asked him, he said, "What happened?" He said, "Yeah, I started eating a lot of eggs and bacon. Like for
I
few
see.
days, for 2-3 days, I ate a lot, but
Okay.
then my appetite dropped.
Okay.
I didn't feel like eating that much, but I was
Okay.
full."
Mm-hmm.
So the beauty of this diet is that you are not watching your calories. You eat till you are full, but you are full from nutritious food, not from. So if you really look at your plate, right, typical diet plate is consist of vegetables, some dal, some other stuff, and there will be 3 or 4 rotis, right?
Yeah.
Or it will be few vegetable dal, and
Full
there
of
would be
rice.
3-4 plate full of rice.
Yep.
What is
Exactly.
the purpose of that rice and roti? The purpose of these two things, if you really look at it, is actually give you a fill in your stomach from the cheapest possible food source available. So it reduces the cost of the plate, which probably made a lot of sense when people didn't have enough to eat. And I think all the generations before us went through that. But now there is so much abundance of food that you keep on eating.
Yeah.
And sugar everywhere. Right? So sugar is as addictive as cocaine,
Yep.
but we don't realize it. And we give it to our kids. So
Yeah.
that's the bad part. So let me fast forward after that, right? So
Okay.
6 months after this whole thing, and the improvements I find in my body. My hiatus hernia, where I used to have that acidity every night, every week, twice a night. You won't believe, from that night in October 2018 till today, I have not had another episode of acidity.
Wow.
It's gone,
Wow.
totally gone, right? Then I had a problem with the nose. I had nasal polyps. I didn't have a very good sign of smell, and I had to use a spray, steroid spray in the nose every 2-3 days. Doctor told me twice a day, but I was taking it every 2, 3 days, and then the nose would open. Now I'm still using it, but now the usage has dropped to maybe once a month, and my sense of smell has come back. I
Amazing.
can smell things when I'm walking. I can smell a flower. Somebody passes by me with a nice perfume. I can smell that. I could not smell that. It had all gone. So that change has happened.
Lovely.
Then you look at the brain was getting foggy. That fogginess is kind of gone
Wonderful.
to a big extent. And I think all diabetics would know that. At some stage, your brain starts getting foggy. So that is because of excess sugar in the brain.
Okay.
If you cut it down, your brain will become better. So, classic example, while driving, right, after dinner, after food, I used to feel a little bit, drowsy. So now I don't feel drowsy at all while driving.
You stay very active. I know. I understand.
Very alert, very alert. So that's a huge difference. My walking speed, because of diabetes, had reduced quite a bit. I had started walking like an old man. I was shuffling, walking slowly, not confident of my balance, like that. Now, my walking speed is back to what it was in my 30s. I walk with very long steps, absolutely no fear of.
Fit. Yep.
Yeah, so feet are getting, they are feeling confident.
Because the internal energy is available. So
Yeah.
obviously the body feels good,
Yeah, and then I used to be constipated all the time. I think most of the diabetics have that issue.
Oh,
They
yeah.
all feel constipated,
Dry also. Yeah.
dry also. So that constipation is gone. It's amazing, stomach empties fully, and I feel very good.
Wonderful.
So, I think it's all positive.
And then, like on the other side, it brings a very good environment in the family, because
Yes.
by and large family, looks at you. If you're behaving good, family also feels good.
So my sons, they were also quite heavy. And after seeing my diet change, they have also changed their diet.
Good.
And one of them has really lost a lot of weight. Maninder, you know Maninder, right?
Yeah. The
He
younger
has
one.
lost a lot of weight, probably maybe 30 kilos.
Wow.
The younger one is also working on it. My wife has also stopped or reduced her carbs intake quite a bit. she now takes a roti maybe once a day, one
Okay.
roti. Yeah, but still she still eats it.
I see.
So now what has happened is that now, because you're a part of a family, then if there is some celebration at home, they make puri, pature or parathe, then I'll have it now. But I started it after 1 year, one and a half years.
No, once in a
That's
while
fine.
is good, it brings the change in the mind,
Yeah,
Taste
that was,
is important. Taste is
yeah,
important, but once in
you're
a
right.
while.
Once in a while is a very slippery slope, actually.
Okay, Sarupji,
Yes.
think we need to close at this point. I
Okay.
hope the information that we have given should help many, many people, in particular who have some issues that can be checked with the diet, with the nutrition. So I
Yeah.
would also lay more emphasis on the nutrition because I've also experienced if you take a reasonably, balanced, good nutrition, it takes care of yourself too.
Yeah. So
So,
on those things, I have two more points here.
okay.
What I have realized with my shopping is now that anything on the shelves which have got a label on it, don't buy it because they are trying to hide something behind that label,
Okay.
right? So anything fresh, good, will not have a label on it.
Okay. I know
So
what you mean.
fresh vegetables, that kind of stuff, fresh
Yeah.
meats, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The other,
Ladies normally buy this canned stuff because sometimes, it's easy for them to cook. But end of the day, fresh vegetables, fresh food is always good.
see, there is another problem which maybe if you have a few minutes, I can talk about it.
Sure.
The other problem is that the genomic modification of food, right? So the food items which sell more, like wheat, corn, these are highly genetically modified. Now, if you look at it, how does body digest food? Ultimately, you don't digest food with your mouth. Food is digested by microbes in our tummy. Ultimately, it has to go down to a molecular level. So if a food item is so much modified that a microbe in the field is not able to attack it, and then you eat that food, the microbe in your stomach is also not able to attack it. So we need to be cognizant of that. So try to eat food which is organic. Those foods which are less sold, like traditional, those grains in the hills and all, those are not genetically modified. So those are better.
Yep. Yep.
And the other tip I have is that when you start fasting, you might feel hungry and you don't know what to do. So the way out is that you take a cup of coffee or tea, put half a teaspoon of desi ghee in that, mix it, and drink it. No milk. Once you have fat, the hunger goes away like immediately.
Lovely.
So that will help people, start. But
Okay.
once you are into fat burning mode and your body is starting to live on fat, then at least I don't feel hungry at all. If I don't eat for 24 hours, there is no hunger.
Okay.
Hunger comes only because body wants carbs and sugar.
That's true.
So that's the message. So I would say good luck, everyone. You know what? Whoever wants to experiment with this, go ahead, try.
Yep.
It's a very good way of living. It will really improve your health. This doctor has written few more books. He has written a book on obesity code, which is for really, really fat people. He has written a book called Longevity Solution, which is about increasing your lifespan through food. And fourth book he has written is around cancer.
Okay.
So if you Google Dr. Jason Fung, you'll find these 4 books. And all 4 are focused on diet, no medicines.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay then.
So Dr. Saab, I hope this is useful to our
Yeah, it should be.
our
at
community.
least,
I need to share with you one more thing. My elder sister's very close friend, she lives in Vancouver.
okay.
So I called her about few months ago and she had diabetes. Her A1C was 12.8.
Oof.
And she told me that I don't know what to do. So I told her this is the way I control. So Didi, you can try. And day before I talked to her, and she told me in 3 months, her A1C dropped from 12.8 to 6.8.
My God.
Her doctor is shocked.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
feeling very happy
It's
and
all about,
healthy as well.
all
Yes,
about nutrition. Yeah.
exactly. So, yes.
Okay, Sabrupji, we had a wonderful discussion, and I know you have done all your best, to convey your message, how we can reverse, diabetes from insulin back to metformin. And probably if we try a little more, we can get ourselves free of the medication. We can try for that too. I always believe that when we have a long discussion, you always have something very special that you like to add,
Yeah.
for the benefit of the society. So please go on.
So basically what we talked about was a lifestyle change, which is based on low carb, high fat diet
Yep.
coupled with fasting.
Yep.
So low carb diet is, avoiding all carbs, sugar, wheat, rice, potatoes, that kind of stuff. And in this diet, you really don't need to watch your calories. You eat to fill, right?
Okay.
And the lowest prescribed kind of fasting time is 16 hours. So in a 24-hour day, you fast for 16 hours and you eat within a window of 8 hours. And you try to keep them to 2 meals
Okay.
so that the insulin rise in the body is only for those 2 periods, right? So basically, we are trying to control foods which kick a insulin response in the body,
Okay.
right? Now, if you look at the high fat diet, right, it's very interesting how the dietary guidelines have changed people's eating habits. There is a very strong cultural element in
True.
every home in India. You can see, pictures of Lord Krishna
Oh,
as
yeah.
a child eating butter, right? And he's stealing butter, he's eating butter, he goes to people's houses, steals butter. So
True.
basically, the mythology says that he is living on exclusive butter diet, right?
True. True. Lot,
So that
lot of
is,
it.
yeah.
And
So
that too, I would say that too is the white butter,
white butter, fresh
fresh butter.
butter, and he's eating that by handful.
Yeah.
From our mythology, we have picked up the information from marketing, clever marketing. And what our families are feeding their kids now? It's
All junk.
cornflakes with low fat milk.
True.
So how much people's thinking and their lifestyle changes based on marketing, you can just guess from that. So on the wall you have a picture of the Lord eating butter, but you are feeding your child flakes
Yeah, and low fat.
with low fat milk, right?
Yeah,
So this is sad.
Especially in Canada, there's a trend. You buy 0 fat, 1% fat. I keep telling my children, at least buy 2%.
We need to incorporate fat in our food.
Yeah,
It's a very, very important food element, and especially for your nervous and brain health, I think this is the best thing we can do.
lovely, beautiful.
For nutrition guidelines, we can probably get more information from our traditional eating guidelines rather than the nutritional books coming from USA.
Yeah, that is true. Because our body is kind of, settled with a childhood nutrition that our parents used to give,
Yeah.
and body accepts that nutrition very well. On that note, I think a lot of stress is being given on bajri these days, bajri ka atta. Even I think the farmers are being told to grow more of bajri. So
I think it's basically to focus on non-genetically modified food elements.
exactly.
So bajri, ragi, these kind of staples might be better than
Conventional
the
food, yeah.
highly modified wheat and rice crops
That's
or
true.
corn for that matter.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
good luck.
guys, I think this information is fair enough for one session. And please look into your health. If you have any issues, you can try or you can read that book. Or if you have any questions, you're most welcome to write to Sabroop or me. Thank you very much. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.